Well, what a week that has been. Well, Wednesday to Wednesday, Tuesday to Wednesday. Whirlwind. The eagle-eyed viewer may have noticed a couple of things missing from the front and the rear of the bike. I'm not sure, but it seems as if there's no owl plates anymore. And the reason for that is because I've passed my tests. Yes, Mod 1 and Mod 2 have been done and dusted and are over. And that's why I've been a bit tardy the last couple of weeks, because Tuesday, training day, Wednesday, Mod 1 last week, this week, Tuesday, training, and yesterday, Wednesday, was my Mod 2 test. So I have finally got that done. Although I say finally, I mean, it's been a month from sort of CBT to do this. So it's been been a bit of a whirlwind. Thought I would come out, have a chat through everything. As I said in my last video, I didn't do much filming because there are people that have done it really well in combination with schools. And for me, I just wanted to pass, focus on what I was doing, learn as much as I can. And that's what I've done. Absolutely buzzing. So relieved to have that done. And yesterday, I'll go through them individually, but I was pretty darn nervous. Mod 1, turn up the morning, it's looking a bit gloomy. First thing in the morning, and we had about an hour's ride to Kings Lynn, which was the test centre we were doing our test at. Nice morning. It looked a bit overcast, it was forecast for rain, and it looked as if it was going to be okay. So we got there, I was first up, there was myself and another student. So I went out, the instructor was a legend, he was so nice. Bit of banter, just put me totally at ease and, you know, made the whole thing pretty simple. Walk outside, the heavens open, torrential rain, starts blowing an absolute gale, and I said, have I got to go and do this now? And he went, yep, fair enough. So off I go. I do the Mod 1, go through all the manoeuvres, do all the tests. I passed with 0 faults, so couldn't complain. There was a little bit of controversy with my instructor, as apparently I stopped. I didn't realise actually on the last manoeuvre, the swerve avoidance, where you have to go, which was torrential rain, obviously, a bit worried about that. I went through at 56. No, I didn't. I went through at 61 kilometres an hour. So certainly went fast. Oh. And yes, it was a bit worrying. But we got there, we did it, and all was good. I'm not quite sure what the need to park directly behind me was, but hey-ho, free world. I'm going to move locations to give a better shot. So I've come back to the Old Faithful. This place rarely get disturbed here. Hope the wind will be all right. So where on earth was I? So that was good, and then I had a week to wait. So that was on the Wednesday last week, and then Tuesday this week I went and did some practicing, went out on the test routes, possible test routes and around the areas. Yesterday was my test day. I did my Mod 1 test 1 o'clock, about 1:15 yesterday afternoon. So met up in the morning, again, went out, did some routes, sort of practicing around the areas and big roundabouts that my instructors, knew we were going to go on one of these roundabouts for sure. So we did a lot of practicing, and then yes, the time came. So I got there. We got back to the test centre, ready for the test at 1:30, and my test was at 1:35. So I was straight out again, nervous as hell. I mean, literally, we pull out the test centre. I get to this little sort of, not a mini roundabout, but a small roundabout. Clear to go. I pull out. Someone cuts me straight up. The traffic was blocked, so they literally just cut me up and then stopped right in front of me. So I stopped, I waited. I thought, well, I'm not going to sit here all day. So I went round the back of them and just carried on. So I thought, immediately, you just think you've failed for some crazy reason. So I sort of made life a bit easier, really. I just thought, do you know what? I'm just gonna go for a bike ride. And I was really overthinking, obviously exaggerating every mirror, every shoulder check, doing everything that I could possibly think. And yeah, got back, went for the debrief. He sat down and he said, shook his head at me, and I'm like, what? Oh no. And he said, your riding was 98% perfect. He said it was brilliant. Absolutely fantastic for 98% of it. He went, but why on earth on a roundabout, bearing in mind that we practiced 3 times, and twice that morning, big roundabout, I pulled off and I was going up onto a dual carriageway, onto the A14, 2 lanes as you're coming on the on-ramp. So I pull off, I pull into the left-hand lane, I exit the roundabout, and I carried on and went to the right-hand lane on the off-ramp. For some reason, I don't know why, I knew I shouldn't have done it. It wasn't bad, but it just left me room for someone to undertake, which is an immediate fail. And he pulled that up, and he basically said, that was it. What were you doing there? I don't know what was going through your head, but everything else. And I looked and I saw on his iPad, it said passed. So I was like, oh God, they always have to do this to you, don't they? He said, but apart from that, he said, that explained all through it, and he gave me 3 minors for that incident, or there were 3 errors there that really you shouldn't have done. I said, have I passed? And he went, yes, you've passed. So brilliant. So then I had to reinsure this. You have to, he said, you need to take your L plates off, which was a really nice thing. No L plates, proper biker now. So that's a massive achievement, and I had to insure it and let the insurance know that I had a full license now immediately. So he said, that's something you've got to do straight away. So then we had a nice ride back, very relieved, and got back to base, the instructor's base, took the L plates off, had a debrief there. Off I went. They might potentially be buying this off me, so we'll see about that. So next steps, what the hell am I going to do? Buy a bike. I can't wait. I've been looking and I'm umming and ahhing, and I've changed my mind 1,000 times. I think I know, because I just keep going back to this one particular bike that a couple of people have already guessed. But yeah, I just think if I don't get that and don't get the one I want, then I'm going to regret it, aren't I? So it's my first bike. I'm sure there'll be more. So I think I will go for it. Then it's which one, and how much do I spend, and how old do I get it, and how many miles, and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'm just thinking through all of that. But hopefully we will have, I don't have room for 2 bikes at the moment. I'm also ripping my house to pieces and building an extension, so the garden's up and it's a nightmare. Not a good time, and it's wet and it's cold and it's frosty, but hey, I've got a full license, no L plates. I must buy a bigger bike, surely. So that's good. Right, now one other thing I want to cover on this video is cost. What it's cost me to get this far from zero to full license. Now bikes I'll leave out because you can buy a bike for £500, £10,000. You know who knows what you want to spend there. Insurance the same. I've said before it's cost me £400 to insure this for a year. That was on CBT. Insurance hasn't changed. Hasn't reduced with me getting my full license. Actually cost me £20 to do an admin change. So yeah, that's that. And the tax on this bike, as I said before, is £26 a year, I think, or £25 a year. So that's that. But as for the actual courses, how much did it all cost? My CBT was around £170. Now they've ranged from what I've seen from about £150 to £200. Then I did my theory test. That was £23. Then obviously I booked my course. So after my CBT, they assessed how many days you'll need. So they do options of 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, 8 days, and so on. They reckon 5 days would be fine for me to be able to do everything I need to do. 1 day, the transfer day, 1 day of training for Mod 1, where we went to the actual test centre, did manoeuvres, Mod 1 test, including the test fee, and that day in which you do some practicing firsthand. Then training day for Mod 2, and then the Mod 2 day and test. So 5 days in total, and including all test fees, it cost me £990.50p. And they do all the organising and arrange everything for that. So it covers the days, that's the bike. If you needed all, kit and bits and pieces, they offer that as well. But obviously I've got my own, so that was fine. All fuel and everything else included. Total to do everything is about £1,200 from nothing to full license now. You've got other associated costs on top of that, which again are just for me, I've said what I've spent on my clothes and things. Depends what you want to do. I wanted my own helmets and bits and pieces. So for me, excluding the bike, I'm probably in for £1,800 or so, which is fine, and then plus the bike and other bits and pieces. The final thing I want to cover today is, should you buy a 125? Now I think this is invaluable to have that, just to practice and to be able to go out and just get more used to the road. As I said before in this, I'm really used to driving. Like, I've driven millions of miles. I've genuinely, tens and tens of thousands of miles a year for 20 plus years now. So I've got a lot of road experience, but having the bike to go out and practice on and using is crucial. And my instructor said one really sort of relevant thing. He said, I get students, he said, that have got bikes, they bought the 125, because I said it's really valuable, isn't it? And he said, well, it depends. He said, if you're going to ride it, he said, I've got students that have been doing, trying to do their licenses for 6 months. They've got 125s. They've done 300 miles in 6 months, done 1,400 miles in a month on this in practice, with all the trips. So for me, it was massively a factor, I think, for why I sailed through, both of the tests and just had the confidence to be able to adapt and jump on the bike. Experience and practice is everything, and gives you all that confidence on the road. If you can, not necessarily needing to spend as much as this. My theory on whether buying a more expensive bike that should hopefully hold its value, we'll find out now, won't we? Let's see if I can sell it, see what I sell it for, and I'll let you know. So once I've sold it and I've got figures, then I can look at that theory. But definitely, if you're considering it, got the means to do it, then I think it's well worth it. It doesn't have to be this bike, it could be any bike. You can. There's brand new 125s now at £5,000-6,000. Pick an old one up now for £500-600. So you can do pretty much most of the things that you can do when you've got your license on this, except for motorways. It's well worth it, I think. So in summary, I am buzzing, absolutely buzzing, and the next steps for me, I think, are going to be the bike next. So let's go bike shopping. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share. The last video bummed a lot. I don't think I put it out at the right time. It hasn't had as much traction as the others. So it'd be really useful if you please comment. I'd really love reading and responding to all your comments. Like the video, share the video, and make sure you're subscribed, because 98% of people aren't. So thank you very much for watching. See you next time.